I just, hello voice, wakey wakey. I decided to go live a little bit earlier because, of course, I want to make sure that everything is up and running. And if you can hear me, let me know. Yes, it looks a little bit dark at the moment, but what we are going to do is work with the shade. As the sun moves across the east side table, I shall be moving my project to the east side table because we have 31 degrees Celsius in the shade today, which is glorious for me, but not so much for anything electronic equipment wise. So I'm talking. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'm early. Oh, perfect. And good evening, beautiful Orchid Ninja Samurai Julie's son. It's good to see you, Orchid Ninja Julien. You guys are going to get me all tongue twisted with your Julie's and Julien's son. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for taking a moment out of your weekend to be here. What I did ahead of this stream is wrangle my Rhyncholaeliocattleya golf green hair pig out of her pot, just so that we can save some time, because the pot was rock hard and I had a feeling that we don't need to watch me struggle with this thing. So I got a little bit ahead of the game. Fran, hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I got a little bit ahead of it because, as you can see, we've got work to do. This orchid, the last time it was repotted was about 2 years ago, possibly 3, but I believe 2. We did a complete root ball cleanup, and I'm okay. You may say, oh, look at all those dead roots. No, I'm happy with this because during the winter, with the evaporative cooling of the leca, this being a warm to hot growing orchid, it's okay. She had no insulation around the roots, so this is fine. I have viable roots, you know, peeking out, coming through. And I hope that the camera is somewhat compensating for the dark. I'm sorry, I can't change those settings. But anyway, I don't anticipate this to take very long, but I figured I might as well do a little root ball cleanup together with you on a live stream because I have a lot of repots to do. And time is of the essence. This is a good time also to do this orchid because of her new roots starting. That is the target right there. Keep them safe. I have some branching, which is fabulous. The parents of this one, I lost the one parent. I had the Cattleya moscom. I lost her, but I still have the Rhyncholaeliocattleya digbyana. That's her other parent. And the Rhyncholaeliocattleya digbyana is also in active root growth, but she doesn't need repotting. Do you mind? I want you to come out without ripping something really hard and bashing into my orchid stand that is behind me. It's all a little bit cumbersome, but if I start later, other things start to become a problem. So we'll start with just really going in what we can see that is obvious. I hope everybody's doing well. If you have any questions, I do have my little control device here to the right. I can watch. If I don't see your comment soon enough, I apologize. But I will get to the chat once we get further into this project. Promise. There we go. Get those out. Now, not because of the live stream, but because of my plans for this orchid, I'm not here to take all the dead roots off. I will do what I have to do. Whoa, and be careful with the branching root tips, but I will do what I have to do so that I'm creating 70% new air around the root system so that it can grow, have space, get gas exchange and all that fun stuff. This is all too tight. So if these roots were once viable, the winter comes, it's all too tight. I can't flush as often. So I'm not surprised that we have dead roots. But I'm not bothered either. I could tell something was going wrong because the pseudobulbs were wrinkling a little bit too much. Well, this orchid, the older pseudobulbs do start to get a little bit of a wrinkle on. Not that much. Shouldn't be getting that much. But I figured we might as well do this together. and see if there's any interest. And it looks like I've got peeps in here. This is Orchid, awesome. Oh yeah, thank you. Post that link. Also the verdant turf. Bring on your latest video. I know that channel links are important, and I just figured that maybe we should just do video links if people are interested. And also in the chat, mention what your video is about that you are posting, just so to create some interest. Let's hope that one day this channel can actually do that, generate traffic to other orchid channels. That is the aim of the game. Sharing is caring, you know? So we got that out. So my intention is really, depending on how quickly this goes, is just to get some dead roots out, stop with all this network here. Definitely not a candidate for an up pot, but she is not history. She'll be fine. I've got about 28% humidity today. So I have my mister with me, and I've been chasing orchids and humidity all around the patio all day. It's wonderful. I love it. I've got another root tip here, just to make sure I'm still in shot. The thing is that if it wasn't as hot and dry, I wouldn't mind putting her in the sun during the repot. But I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up with cleaning the root system and keeping the orchid as little stress as possible with the heat of the sun. And besides, we've also experienced that, how the sun just washes everything out. Push comes to shove, if this just takes too long and I don't want to rush myself, we can do a Q&A, and I put her back in her pot with water, and I shall pot her up tomorrow morning. So it's not like I'm expecting or anticipating everybody to watch me fiddle and fandangle with this ad infinitum. Anyways, so what's been going on this week? Well, apart from the fact that it's nice and warm, which is, you know, cartwheels around the patio for me, I've had a lot of wind. I've been really busy. Well, the RO system has been busy trying to keep up with the watering needs, the misting needs of the orchids, especially the ones in the deep south. Ironically enough, I'm not able to keep up with their aerial roots down there, so I'm a little bit concerned. My crestwood is showing signs of stress. Could also be from the cold weeks we had in April, because I brought those out at the beginning of April because we had a 2-week forecast where the nights did not drop below 15 degrees Celsius. And yet, oops, I just broke a root tip. Quel dommage, collateral damage. And yet, then we had 2 weeks of nasty, well, 13 degrees Celsius, which they should cope with, but if they can't come out of a winter strong, I even used the blanket. And I'm wondering if now the conditions are a little bit too harsh, and they're showing signs of stress. But anyway, one thing at a time. You can't do everything all in one go. We'll see. The leaves look like they've been sunburned, but they're not. To me, that looks like cold damage and dehydration. Meh. See, there is a limit to how many roots I can get into the hedge for high humidity. So, let me know in chat what you guys are up to. I know that Julie already mentioned she's all snuggled up. Nice and cozy, 7 degrees Celsius. Yikes. No thank you. The time will come when I'm back to that as well. And what else has been going on? Oh yes, I'm getting leaf burn on my Blettia, and my Fias is struggling as well. The big repot projects, oh boy, I am really putting them off, but I think I need to address those ASAP. I think my Fias is going to be history if I don't do something about it soon. So we've got another collateral damage of the root. Tip right in here. Yeah. I'm trying to work fast, efficient. Don't want to bore you, but again, if this is too boring, then there is an X out option, I guess. And we won't repeat another repot unless I know for sure that it's going to be a quick one and not a messy one like this. I just thought, you know, back in the day when I was not on videos doing my channel, I was very busy watching repots, and I loved watching the fiddle. I loved everything that took time, working with root systems, so I figured maybe there are some candidates like that. This is most of the stuff you don't see when I make a long form video. I do a little bit, but I edit all of that out. And especially when it comes to shuffling around and moving things based on where I need to be next, all that gets edited out. And here you will see the raw form. Now, I do want to do a little bit on this side, but we've got new roots there, so I'm not going to fuss with the dead roots too much over here. I've already done some collateral damage, so we'll try and work around the top perimeter and see what we can remove there. Don't want to make too much of a butchering process out of this. I hope the verdant turf knows. Peculiar this year, the sun is burning when it shows itself, but the nights are frisky. You know, it's happened here too the last week. It was really warm during the day. We haven't ever reached 30, but so the wind was so warm. The nights, though, were cool. It's kind of strange. I can assure you that when I saw all the tornadoes activity there, that was concerning as well, because that was so violent and it was consistent and ongoing. I was even watching live streams of storm chasers. I was like, what? They couldn't be everywhere in one go, but there was several of them out there. It was just insane. So yeah, it's been pretty violent. I've also seen that over the Atlantic there are some storms developing. I guess they frazzled out, but people were freaking out about what's coming from over in Africa. And I've been watching also the Iceland volcano. My goodness, imagine having to navigate your life around the activities of an active volcano that's been dormant for 800 years, and now it just keeps burping lava every 6 months, and they're trying to make sure it doesn't decimate a town. Wow. I'm fascinated with that kind of stuff. Don't really have any funny stories to tell you. I was thinking, what am I even going to talk about? We could work in silence. That's not very entertaining. I can't even put music on in the background. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. All right. I had technical issues this week, starting Monday. And I think Tuesday I had the black screen of death. That, I tell you, that was scary stuff. I had to take everything in. It's not like you could just carry something over. No. The system I'm working on, thank you, Apple, how cumbersome is that? You have to take your whole screen, everything. It's like, what the... We got it sorted out, luckily, but now, how do you say, my trust issues have encroached, and I'm always afraid now. Is it going to work the way it's supposed to? I lost, I mean, I have the data, but I lost the functionality of a hard drive as well. I'm like, yeah, we don't need this, not right now. I mean, I've got everything backed up, but no, that was my spare hard drive. Now I need another spare hard drive because everything is now there. And I can't work with the other hard drive the way I want it to. I've been researching how to, I mean, it recognizes the hard drive, but it won't let me add, change, do anything. I can access everything, so, I mean, everything, I've got what I need except 2 folders. Meh. 2 folders of work that I can't find. They're not there. Or at least they are grayed out and I can't find the content. So that was exciting, something I didn't need. On the other hand, the weather compensated for it because I was able to just be outside and make sure the orchids are safe. I don't know about you, but I get so freaked out. Anxiety levels off the charts. Where's my stuff? These are the things I disclose during a live stream, not because I don't want to bring in too much, the problems in the background. I don't want to harp on about them in videos. So if you watch on a live stream, you get a little bit of either juicy gossip or issues I've been dealing with. Oh, and if you're watching on the replay, welcome. It's good that you're taking some time. I appreciate that you do check out the replay and another root tip, but we're okay. We're okay. As much as I like keeping my root tips, it's not the end of the world with this one. She says, and then watch me come with a video saying, do you know? That is where complacency kicks in. All right, I'm at the front now where I said I wouldn't be working. The thing is, she's not going into, oh, well, yeah, she is. I do have a bigger pot for her, but not the XXL size pots that you've seen in other videos where I've up-potted, like my Naphrits Alex Poli, or, they're just taking her and getting her into a bigger pot, because by that time, this would be fine. She's just going up another pot size, not that bigger, that much bigger, and I'm getting muck all over my face. Awesome. So, let's get the pot and see what we're up against. Let me wash my hands. Ugh. Electronics and water. What can go wrong? Right. Let's have a look-see. Ha! I hope you can see that. Ha! I think that is suficiente. I'm not going to do much more here except clean out the rhizome. I did a pest treatment cleanup before as well, so that's all been done. Just want to see if I can, oh, you're nice and warm, tidy up the rhizome a little bit. There's still an old support in here where I put the rhizome down. And what I'm going to do this time around is bury the rhizome and pot it lower and have leca covering it. Because I need the roots to go into the pot. They shouldn't be scrambling around the surface. None of that business. I want them in the pot fast. Now that we've got the conditions that this orchid likes, it has to go fast. I already lost a root tip when I was soaking her. There's a root tip right here. But thankfully, we're at the early stages, so I'm grateful to see that there's potential for that back growth also to produce more roots. Get in there fast and quickly, and then I'll bury the rhizome a little bit. See what we're up against right here. Let's take that off while we can. And what happened with this pseudobulb was last summer, the leaf started to rot at the apex at this location right here, which was odd. It's never happened to me before, and during the warm months of the year on top of that. And then the pseudobulb started to rot, which I also thought was, if this were a problem, it would happen in winter. It turns out, what I didn't see when I filmed cutting the pseudobulb and treating it with cinnamon, when I then put it on the big screen, I was like, look at you, look at that. There's a tiny little beetle that I had disturbed out of its home, and it's made itself some kind of a colony nest in there, and that thing was scrambling out of that location. So it had buried itself into the apex where the leaf meets the pseudobulb in there, and then, well, cause destruction. Or if you get a little bit of humidity in there, even though I have a dry climate, just a little bit of humidity, not water because the structures are long, you're done. Dunzo. So that's what happened there. And thankfully I could figure out, I could actually see what happened, because it had me concerned that if this is a trend going on, then this orchid would have underlying issues, which I won't even mention and not even jinx here at all. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do for the repot is move into an area where the lighting is hopefully a little bit better. So excusez-moi, we are on the move. We're on the move. Okay. Come here. I see I can't do this. There we go. And just going to make sure that you stay nice and damp. All right, you don't want to be putting too much water on the leaves with the heat of the sun like this, because you'll be burning, you'll be creating, the water will heat up, it'll become like a little magnifying glass, and then burn the leaves. And we don't want that. Right. I'll turn the tray around to the clean side. Comme ça. Are we in shot? We will be shortly. Okie dokie, you come here. There we go. All right, I can't see the chat for the time being. Give me a moment just to set up. And I need my leca. There we go. I am using small leca. A, big pot. B, fine, thin roots. C, insulation for the cold temperatures. The more media I have around the root system, the better. So what we're going to also do is, let's see, I always fill with water first, but what I'm going to do this time is fill with leca, so that when I fill up the root system, with more leca, I'm going to not have the water so high. I want to make sure 100% that when I'm burying the rhizome, that it won't, in actual fact, bring the water up and give me a wrong reading, so to speak. Woohoo! Let me get you. Let me get you. Hey, Barbecue and Blues! Oh, that name. Some people don't read comments. I read many comments in many of the videos. I just want to tell you, I love that name, Barbecue and Blues. He is such, just the name before getting to know him a little bit over the tubes and through the comments, etc. But he is such a wonderful reminder of chill weekend vibes. I love it. It's good to see you. And you know what? Thank you for being here. I so appreciate that. And I hope that you're doing well and having already a great Saturday. An admin issue. Admin permission issue. Who's talking? Yes. What was that? What was that question? Based on what I had going on with my technical issues? Oh, Nina. Nina, pretty ballerina. Not, but I used to do ballet. There we go. If the mind isn't working, at least it worked just in time. Okay. Support. Let's get a little bit more leca. Make sure we don't wobble too much. This is all I need. And let's see. Get her nice and low in the pot. I don't want to raise her up. Everything is going to be low, 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 low. And if you're wondering about burying a rhizome, then know that you can absolutely do that if you have dry conditions. And I think that's a little bit too high for my liking. I don't like what I'm seeing over there, which is a nuisance, so jump cut. No, just kidding. That was a mistake to put that extra leca in already. And now my support doesn't have support. We don't like it like that. Let's try again. Get down there. And I only have one microfiber as opposed to the two I had previously, even though I have a larger pot. And that is because all my leca is going to be super small. So it compensates everything. Are you better now? Yes. It's only maybe 2 centimeters, an inch difference, but I like this much better. And because we don't really, yes, we do have a direction of growth, 2 actually. Just making sure. Yeah, I want my support here. The rhizome is there. Got you backed up. Okay, here goes nothing. This is where my third hand comes in because I focus on the leca in the area when I want to make sure that the orchid doesn't slip into. And she should be okay for another 2 years. And if not, we can do this again, because that means she's growing better than expected. Anyway, that's positive thinking, because she could also decline, but that's not where we're headed with this attempt here. I love this orchid. She's one of my top 5 from jump. When I did my first videos, I did an orchid tag, even though nobody tagged me, but it was, the questions were so great as an introduction to who I am, my channel, etc. I just did an orchid tag answering all the questions, and she is, from that day, nothing's changed. And the Digbyana is also top 5. So I kind of repeat. At least I'm consistent. Okay, we're going to bury everything. Bury, bury, bury. And in a dry climate, I have the luxury to do that without causing any issues. But it'll guarantee that the roots are going to be in the pot, as opposed to drying out at the surface. Yeah, I hope so, Barbecue and Blues. I hope so. I've damaged quite a few root tips when I was creating some space at the bottom there, because she was branching so nicely. And I was gung-ho to get into this repot. You know, when I have a live stream, or let's say when I have a repot, I like to address it. I like to start my repots around 11, because nobody is really coming in and out of the gate. Everybody's at work. But when I have a live stream and I'm doing something like this, the same as I did like last year, I'm waiting. Itchy fingers. So it was a little bit like, I hope she wasn't too stressed out with everything that we've done this time of the day. But at least it's warm enough. I don't think there will be any stress issues with her, you know, with the wet leca. I wouldn't do this during the winter. Definitely not. If she were to be repotted, for example, or any orchid, I wouldn't bury the rhizome during the winter. But today, being that warm, I'm going to get, sorry for the gate, I'll get away with it. So let's just see if we don't really need to support her, because she's locked solid, but the leaves are so dangly, I will catch her on the shelf, for sure, for sure. So there's that. Done and done. And I have my Sunday. I was cleaning media today. I was separating grit from ceramis. That was fun. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I also watched. I'm really watching the Karen Reed trial, and that was fun because I caught up with some of the testimonies and the voir dire while I was cleaning my Ceramis from my grit. So you're multitasking. I don't know if anybody is into that true crime kind of stuff, but I'm fascinated with what is going on there in Canton County. Don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but if you're into good law, where there's possible corruption, allegedly, by the DA's office, the police force, etc., somebody being wrongly charged for second-degree murder, and you like to see how a defense team picks apart all the intricacies and maybe the shoddy police work, super interesting. I'm all for that. Okie dokie, what have we got now? Let's drain her. Woohoo! Okay, I'm just going to put this water into another pot because she is getting CalMag and the TNC microhydro product that I've been using because that's got seaweed in it. So we'll put that back in the pot. There we go. I didn't bring it over here. Today I've also been doing calcium nitrate for all the bifoliates that needed it, that had run out of their water. I'm also having trouble keeping up with my, whatchamacallit, Fred Clockyara After Dark Black Pearl. Keeping that one happy and watered. Good grief. You know, you get into this thing about in the winter you're tiptoeing around and you're still tiptoeing because it just becomes a habit. And all of a sudden it's like, excuse me, I just gave you water 2 days ago. What are you doing? And this morning it was that kind of a day. I'm like, you're dry again? Ancelia africana is like reservoir dry. Panic stations. So, genuinely, it is so good to see you. Thank you so much. Coming all the way from Singapore. Fran Ricks, if you can get a Gulf Green Hair Pig, she will not disappoint. She's a regular bloomer for me. She's a happy orchid, even though, okay, I have deficiencies here, clear magnesium deficiencies. Got sunburn because I test my orchids to see how much light they can take. So all these things are now under control. You can see the latest growth is fine. These deficiencies can appear after a repot, which was like 2 years ago, so it's being corrected. But she is a wonderful, wonderful orchid, and she blooms at a time of year when we are here in the winter. So that's always welcome. Now, what I'm going to do is bring you something to look at that isn't a messy catch tray, that is purdy. And then we can enjoy someone who featured in the video du jour earlier today, also because she has deficiencies, similar issues when repotting. I have learned to become a little bit more aggressive with my fertilizing and supplementing. Ants included. Can you even see her? Probably not. Let me know. Any smells? From my black comment. My black comment. No, actually, I don't put my nose in there. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I don't. No, not anymore. I've got the purpuratas and the Cattleya, white bridal, and I'm happy with those. I don't need the smells of the black comet. I mean, I don't mind cats, but I don't have them for a reason. Yeah, that's not nice. Can you even see this? This is going to have to do. I can't move her too much into the sun. Oh, she's gorgeous. This is Laelia pacavia. Okay, Julien S. No need of a warm climate. If I don't bury the rhizomes, they just won't root. Oh, interesting. Huh. I was going to say differently, but that's good to know. I appreciate you put that there because that gives people a lot of flexibility. because I am a fan of burying rhizomes, even though it doesn't look like on my Pacavia, but I am a fan. And if I just put water on a new growth, but we should be okay. We're nice and warm today. And then I know you did. Oh, Barbecue and Blues, I know you lost her. I'm so sorry. Yeah, my Fias, she's going to get a complete reset. It's probably going to be just bulbs, and then we go from there. It is dark, isn't it? I am loath to put her in the sun. But for a little bit, no? Así? Mejor? A ver. Well, that's the thing. With a dry climate, I would say it's very difficult to get roots to go into a pot, in my conditions anyway. And if I put the sprayer on the new root tips, they will also stop growing because the water, even if I just trickle it, the water and sometimes maybe the light, not getting the pressure of my sprayer right, I will destroy my own root tips in doing so. So I prefer to bury my rhizomes. I also kind of did a video on that, when you can get away with it and when you can't, but that was a long time ago. Maybe we can address it again. And she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous, just making sure the leaves don't start burning. I don't understand. I've been trying to rack my brain because last year we also did live streams on the patio and I don't remember the footage being that dark. I do not understand. And I cannot, and I also thought of going through my restreaming software that I have, that I do when we do night streams. I have a restreaming, it's called Restream, it's a software. And the thing is, they don't do reverse camera. So I can't move the tripod around as freely to show you things. I can't flip the camera in the right direction. And that's a bummer. Right, it's getting too hot for me. I'm not comfortable with that. Sorry. Sorry, personal preferences. And if I put you into the blooming alley, we're going to have more issues with that because there's hardly any space there. Oh, I can bring you one we can look at while we have a little chat. She won't mind the sun at all. And she smells of coconuts. She smells of coconuts. And you know which one I'm talking about. Just make sure that everybody else is in the shade, like my transmitter. There. Maxaria tenuifolia. Let's get you guys down. I mean, it's not like we haven't got blooms here, you know. And we can scooch around the table as the sun encroaches even further. Isn't that better? Is that better? Hello. It's good to see you. She is so big. No worries about being late. I also started like 5 minutes early because I always get a little bit nervous when it comes to live streams. Is everything going to fall into place nicely? Do I have to make some adjustments? And I don't want to waste people's time, so I'm always very nervous when I start a stream. But then things turn out well, and then one day when you don't do that, all of a sudden there's big issues. Things happen. It's typical. You get very vulnerable when you're streaming live, but I appreciate everybody for being so supportive and understanding. And if you haven't already, would you give me a like, please? From Canada. Okay, that is a Super Mario, but I cannot read. What is that? Is that Super Mario gaming code that you have on your name? I cannot read your name, but I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that support. I hope you're having a great Saturday. No. With the exception of I've got rock wool. I have my now correctly identified flagellaris in just rock wool. And yes, her rhizome is buried. Yes, she is a big one. It's from an old movie. Oh, okay. I can't really see. Alrighty. It looks like something like a Morse code of sorts. Bet Davis Eyes, Orchid Ninja Bet. It's good to see you. How are you? Greetings back to you. And, well, someone's playing with their orchids and multitasking. That's very sweet of you to pop in and say hi. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see Orchid Ninjas in the chat. It's just... Let me tell you something, Orchid Ninjas. Thank you. 2 words. Asante sana in many languages. Merci beaucoup. Vielen Dank. Thank you. You have no idea. And I'm not going to elaborate any further, but thank you so, so much. I tried putting a layer of vermiculite on top of the fire's morning star pot when repotting. And how'd it go? I have never tried vermiculite because what I see in the shop that I can go to, I find it to be very small grain, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wanted to try it, but it just it seems too powdery, and maybe what I see on the interwebs, especially when it comes to planting seedlings and working with seedlings and top dressing with vermiculite, regular plants, annuals and such, I see the vermiculite looks larger. The stuff that I get here, it looks like it's dust. It's more of a dusty size. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense whatsoever. And has it worked? The thing is with my Phaeus and my Cymbidium, the pots are broken. They've been out of their mask for months because I cannot lift them out of their pots anymore. If I put them in the mask and keep them in their self-watering setup, I can't lift them out because the rim keeps breaking on me, and the Cymbidium pot is completely broken, the whole rim. So if I put her in there, I'm done. I'm donezo. But physically, I'm dreading those two. Maybe the Phaeus is not going to be so bad because she's probably a goner, and I'm only going to be dealing with bulbs. But I mean, I have a new growth starting on the Phaeus. I'm not saying she's dead, but she is definitely on her way out, pretty much. Aquarium gravel. Yes, I have some of that. And I took the playground gravel as well. The thing is, guys, I was just saying, I'm separating horticultural grit from Ceramis. Just to have them in stock and not to have it all mixed up. If I add aquarium gravel, I should use my pebbles. Orchid Ninja Bob Bernard in the house, I was going to say, on the patio. It's good to see you, Bob-san. Thank you. Yeah, I was, nothing personal in the chat, please, but trust. When I don't see names for a while, none of my business, but I do worry. And then I don't want to start anything. I don't want to impose on anybody. Oh, but there's something that happens inside of me and it's not comfortable at all. At all. So what we're going to do is see where our shadow line is for the transmitter, what we can get away with, and get her more into the sun. Yeah. Hawaiian tropic. Yum. Okay. Move this so I don't trip over cables. I hope, though, that it's not for horrible reasons. Like I said, please do not put any personal details into the chat unless you are comfortable with everybody knowing. But know that you have been missed, Bob's son. Know that. Hand hearts, red hearts, kissy, 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 all that stuff. I mean, I watch videos and then I comment when I have time because my eyes are shot to bits at night. I can't be typing around on a small screen anymore. And I do most of my work on the big screen. That's how I manage to get through. But by the time I'm done, my eyes are just like, I can't see what I'm doing, and autocorrect can be very misleading sometimes. You can make big mistakes. So I'll watch videos, but I won't leave a comment, and then I go back and then I'll leave a comment in the mornings, usually when my eyes are fresher. bet, son. Thank you, Nina. You are all. Oh. You know what? I wish people would be able to come. If I was in the United States or somewhere where there's a lot more people that live close to me, I would do orchid seminar sessions, repots on my deck or something, and have everybody around, bring some snacks, salad and drinks and whatever, and just, do the orchid thing. But that would not be possible. I would love to just here. I mean, I've got 8 chairs and we can make it work. We can make it work, and everybody bring their kit and caboodle. And if you don't have kit and caboodle and you just want to hang out, whoops, Roy Tokunaga is getting sun, just one moment. You just want to hang out and talk orchids or talk. Oh, that would be so amazing. Just laid back. And, oh, hang on a second, Sologeny Pandarata needs to be moved as well. Too hot for her, like where she is at the moment. So we're just going to shift her into the shade. There we go. Alrighty. So if nobody has any specific questions, I don't mind the chit chat. I have no problems with that whatsoever, but I know it's a Saturday for everybody. Oh, by the way, let's just, hang on a second. I did a community post because I repotted my Tigrina, Cattleya tigrina, but I didn't do commentary, nothing. I filmed it though, because I thought for some people that may not be able to make it when I go live normally at 3:30, because that fits with how the rhythm of the house is. I don't bother anybody in the house this time of day. And I thought what I could do for Midsummer Night stream, which is Friday next week, do a live stream, but I'll be at the computer. It'll be 10 p.m. my time, and just go through the footage of the repot of the Tigrina. And that would mean, I checked all the time zone conversions. That would mean, hang on a second. I thought I had it memorized and suddenly blank, blank, blankety blank. Okay, 10 p.m. my time is 4 p.m. New York, East Coast, 1 p.m. Los Angeles, West Coast. In the vicinity or time zone of Denver, Colorado, that would be 2 p.m. Minnesota, that area would be 3 p.m. And then, yikes, I've got, it's unfortunate, Australia, Perth is 4 a.m., Sydney is 6 a.m., and India, the west coast of India is 1:30 a.m. The Philippines would be 4 a.m. So you see, this is why the night streams, while I love that, because I can sit at my desk and, chat away with a big screen and everything's a little bit more controlled, I lose a lot of people, a lot of time zones, but I would then be able to accommodate, the United States or the West Coast at a reasonable time. And I'm just wondering if that is of interest. And I know it's not a good time to put it into a live stream right now, but for those of you that are here that have just heard the times, go to my community post if you don't mind and see if that would be of interest to you. I have just repotted that orchid the way I normally do. It's one of my favorite orchids that has arrived in my collection. She's a 2.0 because the first one had fusarium. And, she was my nemesis. I couldn't really get her established in Leca. And she seems to be established. And it was a super windy day. She needed repotting. And I just took the footage without any commentary. And I thought we could go over that repot on a stream. But just so that you know, it's already filmed. It's done. It's not a live repot. It's what I managed to film. 10 p.m. on a Friday is actually better. Yes, but that would be for you. What did I say? 4 p.m. 10 p.m. is my time. Julien son. So that would be 4 p.m. for you. I don't know if that's feasible. But I'm trying to think of also to do my my winter streams again. I just couldn't last winter because I had a rib injury which made sitting agonizingly painful, the breathing, etc. I couldn't do that. There's just no way. After a day of doing what I normally do, sitting and then editing and everything, and then thinking of live streams, and when it got really cold, it was just insane. I couldn't do that. So, meanwhile, there's only one way to find out, and GMT +1? Okay. Okay, I don't know why I thought you were... Huh. Never mind. Julien's son. I was all... Okay. I must have forgotten something there. Sorry. Happens. Eek. Sorry. Prayer hands. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I think what we're going to... Oh, the verdant turf. Would you please put the link of your latest video into the chat? I'm going to see if I can't someday generate some traffic for recent links of orchid channels. Oh my goodness. I must have forgotten that. Julien, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh. And you've been Orchid Ninja 1. You are Orchid Ninja 1. I'm sorry. Sorry. Now I feel terrible. Oops, gosh. Put your link, please, Verdant Turf, of your latest video into the chat. And also please put the Orchid Fortresses link into the chat as well. The Verdant Turf, if you've not fast asleep, because the Verdant Turf is all the way from the Philippines. Oh my goodness, so sweet. Oh, there we go. I like it, I like it. Can you imagine if one day we can have so much traffic here on this channel that every channel that comes through and gets to put their link in here will benefit. Wouldn't that just be awesome? I'm working on it. Promise, I'm working on it. Thank you for saying that, Julien, son. Thank you. Like I say, I'm always a bit wary about personal information, so I don't want to be too, but I must have completely forgotten that. It's like there's one viewer that I have, I always thought she was in Australia, and then one day, and it's not like one day, she kept telling me where she was, but I don't know why, when I saw her name, I thought she was in Australia, and she's in Florida. Talk about feeling like an idiot. But at least I can hide behind the screen and say that I'm sorry and not figure it out as I am reading chat on a live stream. Like I said, awkward. Okay, I'm just going to wait for the Verdant Turf to put that link in there. And then I'm going to love and leave you guys to get on with the rest of your weekend, which I hope is going to be fabulous. Oh. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. Val got sunburned so bad it's losing leaves. All its leaves. Oh my. I had a really badly sunburned orchid. I found her by the bin and she was in bad condition. But she has pulled through. Yes, it does, Julien's son. It does. Especially I'm really loving, it was an experiment because of the tiny little rhizome that one has, to put it into just rock wool and self-watering, but I figured this thing is not going to make it if it doesn't have a lot of access to water when in active growth, and the rock wool is not going to kill my roots during the winter either because no evaporative cooling. It is working. I've got it in my video from today because it is in bloom. I don't know if you have seen that. I don't want to bring her over here because of her enormously long, large growth, and as I'm walking around. Yes, that will explain it. Yes, they are definitely, if they don't have that humidity of, let's say, 80%, the Brassavolas will show you on the leaf tips. And of course, on the lack of extending roots or roots drying out quickly. They need an extreme amount of high humidity. I'm struggling to keep up with the one that I've got mounted in cork. But hey, when your computer fails for a couple of days and there's nothing you can do about it, you can be watering heavily. And that's what I was doing with that one. It's an ICU. Well, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I had one that was roasting on the paved walk in the August sun here in southern Spain, and it looked really bad. But she's pretty. She's coming back. So you put it on the high of the orchid pot. So I put it on the high of the orchid pot so there's less water than at the bottom. Okay, let me try and untangle that. I'm not quite understanding. I'm not. Oh! Oh, you have one of those. Yes, I like those. Yes. I like those. Have a great week, Verdant Turf. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here also from Orchid Fortress, for being such a great friend. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, sir. Get her lower unless the roots are already kind of growing down towards where the humidity is. It's not that wet. Okay. You don't have salt buildup with those clay water pots, clay water tubes? That was my concern when I saw them come on the market. That there would be eventual salt buildup, but again, I've got this low humidity I'm always harping on about. So my salt buildup can happen very quickly. You know, if you don't get it right, there's salt. Funny, when I was doing my second collection in organic media and clay pots, I had no salt buildup. I got patina, but no salt buildup because I wasn't into fertilizing that heavily. And they grew. Maybe not as well as they could have, because I was just learning what it takes to grow orchids in pots and not up there yonder in the canopies. But they grew. You just spray the fertilizer on the outside. So your orchid is potted, it is mounted style, and it is on the outside of the clay pot, the clay tube, or on the inside. Every time I've seen those clay pots in use, I have seen them mount the orchid on the outside and then just filled it with water. Okay, now I'm going to go back to your comment above. There we go. Orchid pot. I'm tempted to move my... Yeah. Mounted on the outside. Okay. Well, if the roots are attached, leave them alone. Do not interfere with Brassavola roots. If they've attached, you'll lose them. If they've attached, is there a way that you can, for a time, lay the tube down in a dish of water so it can saturate all the way around? Is that an option? Or is she already that big that that's not possible? Yes, that is true. So you have, oh, you've got natural moss already populating. So your tube is already quite old. Because that would happen once it's been there for quite some time. The last time I saw these clay tubes was, 2018. Well, I thought they were super interesting. 2019, when I was doing my collection and getting my stuff sorted out. And you've got moss. So has she been on there that long? That's strange, though. Then why? If the moss is happy, your Brassavola should be as well. Because I've got moss. Look, mine is potted up, and it's got moss all across the top of the rock wall. And I have never, ever touched that moss. I'm just leaving as is. And that is with the rhizome in the moss. As in, you can't see the rhizome. That's how much moss I have on it. Yeah, isn't that cool, though? I love it when that happens, when the sphagnum moss, that's what I did with my Victoria Regina. I didn't put that moss pillow there. I put sphagnum moss on it, and what you see now happened all by its lonesome. I have other, and I have tried to move the spores onto other mounts, but it's not working just yet. So there seems to be a symbiosis between the Victoria Regina and that kind of moss. They just seem to complement each other and work well. Do you think that the moss is taking more water than what it should be wicking up that clay tube, and that is preventing water from getting to the top? Could it be the moss being greedy and you may need to fill the tube higher? Could that be an option? Is there a distinct line where the moss stops growing? The roots of the orchid don't go that low. I wonder if your moss is just being greedy, and if you need to fill the tube higher, fill it higher up. You can always mist. You know that. I mean, I know. I'm just saying what I'm doing here with mine. I just mist and mist and mist. And if there is a need because of the temperatures the way they are, if the orchid is otherwise growing well, yes, you may have some brown leaves, but that could also be ambient humidity, but the orchid is not struggling, you know? The tips on the leaves doesn't mean if the orchid is struggling. If you're seeing that the roots are hydrating maybe when you mist them, if you can fill that tube up a little bit higher, that's the problem. Same here. Right now, same here. I would say your moss is taking the water, and that's why it's not reaching where it should. And I would then suggest try filling that tube up higher. Or depending on the size of the orchid, if you can lay the tube down so that the clay gets saturated and soaks up water all the way around. Is it one of those white tubes or is it a terracotta color tube? I mean, the concept is brilliant. I loved it back when I saw it. It's half empty. Oh my. Oh my. I would just fill the tube every day. Just keep it full. It's one of the white ones, okay? I think they are amazing. I just didn't grab them back in the day. I can't say why. No rhyme or reason. Just, I guess I saw them, thought about it, and never revisited the concept. But I thought they were super duper interesting. And they're pretty. I would keep that tube full, especially this time of year if it's really warm. If you've got nice airflow, just keep it full. There's no harm, no foul. And see how that terracotta, that clay actually then stays damp. I hope the holes, do you have it hanging or is it standing? But the holes should be high enough at the top for the hangers if you were to put hangers. Some came with holes. And if you were to put hangers, then at least to the level where the holes are all the time. The thing with flagellaris is because of the length of their growths. They are so far away from where the actual humidity is. Are you happy with the root growth? I have a second one. I wanted to stick a piece of sasim on it to put the Angraecum elephantus. 3 hanging holes, okay? I don't know what sassim is. Is this like a hygroloton or whatever material, a wicking material? Do you have that? Hygrolon, that's what it's called, because I bought some of that back in the day. I've never used it, but I have the hygrolon. I went with hop filter material instead. Oh, Julien, You can't, that's fine. But that's great. That means they're all the way down there. They're getting water. Sassim is arborescent fern bark. Okay. That'll work. Careful with stem rot for the elephantos, please. Learn from my mistake when my Didieri went by the Rainbow Bridge. That was stem rot because I had that high humidity summer last year. And if you've got that on a tube, you're going to be putting the stem, I would suppose, right up against it, right? And tie it on like that? Question. It's a question. I'm not suggesting anything, just it's a question. Just be very careful with stem rot there, then. That's all I can say. How else would you attach it is my question. Because if that tube stays damp and you have your little stem up against it, it's such a cute orchid. And it has a bloom that belies the size of it. I love that. May I ask where you got your Angraecum from? Now that I know that you're in my hemisphere, I'm like, huh. You would have to put it on the sunseam and let the, yes. So you'll be attaching the sunseam and letting the roots run, and the orchid would be on the sunseam. Like a little mount on a mount. You have a buffer between the stem and the clay. Yeah, they're good. I like them. You only get a lot of seedlings there, though, and of course people, it takes a long time for things to happen. And they come with a lot of algae, which is another thing. That means that their greenhouses are geared to the hilt to grow all these gorgeous little orchids, especially because they deal a lot with seedlings. But with the Repotting selection that they have, oh my. Oh my. Okay, so it's like a little, that's it. That'll work. That would work. At least you've got the stem away from the clay. I like that. I like that a lot. And I would also keep that a little bit like to the middle, because there's no guarantee that Angraecum roots are going to go to the clay. They may just stick out, straight out, like, hello, don't know where I'm going, but I'm certainly not going where we want them to go. Yes, especially their 1 year yes, they are. They're a little bit of a fibs, I would say. They're fibbing. But when I see the selection of Rhyncholaeliocattleya that they have, and the ones that I'm kind of still missing and I would love to have in my collection, I'm always thinking, 10 euros or 12 euros, it's a great price. It's such a great price, Whereas other nurseries will charge 19, 22, 24, upwards up there, double. And it doesn't mean that you're getting a more mature plant. So I don't remember which orchids I bought from Orchids and More, and I don't even know if I've ever bought from them, to be quite honest. Come to think of it, it would actually come to my mind. But I know that they're seedlings, and I know they come with algae, so I must have some here that came from them. Anyway, doesn't matter. Exactly, you see? My Didieris were, well, I still have one. I got that from Matt by Nature. I still have one, and it's still got its root, and its root is hydrating, but I've got it in a small orchid top. A little orchid top with lava rock. My other one was doing so well, but I had ceramis mixed into the lava rock. I just never got it to bloom. I had spikes 3 spikes, 2 spikes. Every year I got spikes, but it never progressed into blooming. And then last year it just fell apart. So this little Didieri that I got from Map by Nature, I just put lava rock in there. Yeah, that's the thing with the little minis. They do have a root, and it's very difficult to keep them happy. That's why I always, and my Leonis is still alive, but dang, that's a challenge. I lost my Leonis because of stem rot as well. The Cattleya hybrids from the monthly list, though, are flowering size. Okay. They have a monthly list now? I didn't know that. You see, I haven't shopped for years. I think the last time Anonymous told me to go shopping, and that was it. I did. Oh, no, wrong. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. My rubescence. How can I forget? Speaking of which, the Joyce Hilton needs to be repotted. She's growing new roots. I got my work cut out for me next week. I keep forgetting her because she's inside. I didn't know they had a monthly list. I better not go look. But their selection is amazing. Okay, so now I'm seeing the image. Now the lighting makes sense. Now it's not so dark because of the glare of the sun has moved away. This is actually nice lighting, I would say, compared to what we deal with before. So 4:30, maybe moving forward, a good time. Actually, 4 o'clock, maybe a good time to start a live stream this time of year as we move forward. Because I was always wondering, why didn't I see, last year it wasn't like this. Like, you know, the horrid, harsh, dark shadows, nasty, while I'm trying to stay in the shade with the equipment. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is patio streams will be at 4 p.m. It has to happen. I feel bad losing people. But if I'm going to do this, then I can't always be apologizing for bad lighting. Oh, I'm glad I looked at the screen up and not just at the chat. Okay, so there's that. 4 p.m. for the next one. But I will schedule a stream for 10 p.m. on Friday the 21st. You added some orchids to your collection each month since February. Julien's son. Goodness me, that is awesome. Oh, what fun. Oh my goodness, don't tell me you bought it. Are you doing like a subscription thing with them? Because I was thinking, because sometimes in the United States, if you're like, let's say you want to have a subscription for the garden center or whatever online plant store, they fill boxes and just send you every month a box of whatever it is you're subscribed to, be it cacti, succulents, whatever. Don't tell me that Orchids and More is doing... Oh, you must be so happy to have that happening every month. We shouldn't covet other people's blessings, but I'm so jealous. Oh, mostly experiments. Sphagnum and self-watering. I like that. I like that very much. I would like to know how long your sphagnum moss lasts. And the fact that it's self-watering means it's drawing water from below, which avoids the compacting of the sphagnum moss being constantly watered from above. I like that a lot. Except I won't be using sphagnum moss, but that should make those orchids very happy. I cannot imagine what kind of a jungle you're in. Since February, new orchids every month. That is that's March, April, May, June. That is 17 months. of getting orchids on the... That's amazing. No subscription, you just pick from them. It's always cheap and out of their general catalog. Wow. That's just wow. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. I can't stop smiling. I have never heard that before. They have a great selection though. Absolutely. Julien, did we cover the Brassavola? Are you okay with what I suggested? Would you give it a go, just filling up the whole thing? But if you can't see the roots and they're in the moss, the tips at the end being dry, that's ambient humidity. We can't be living in 80% humidity all the time as humans, because that would mean there would be things happening with our property. I don't want to end the stream without knowing whether you're comfortable knowing what we were talking about. But if it was me, I would fill up that little clay tube. And if you have any doubts, you know the drill. You can always take pics and send me an email. Always. I've lost Julien. Am I still live? Okay, we've still got signal. Okay, I hear you. Okay. Also know that Brassavola leaves aren't infinitely alive, so know which one you're looking at. How long has it been? Oh, I see. Okay, sorry, Julien. Thank you, Verdant Turf, for that confirmation. Also, keep an eye on which leaf it is happening to. An old leaf, of course, will start to die back ever so slowly. And a new leaf is also very prone to getting the brown tips because the cell structure is tender. That's another thing to consider. And you see, Julien S. Son, that is why I struggle at night to type and do comments or anything like that on my phone. I can't do it. So I'm with you. I'm not trying to rush you. I'm not trying to rush you or stress you out. And also, these streams, there's always like an 11-second delay from when I say something to when you hear it to then when you respond. And it doesn't matter whether I'm out here doing a stream on the YouTube app or through my streaming software. So I'm just going to wait for Julien to respond. And if there is dead air, I apologize. I've also got a car on idle now in the background. That's not my stomach. Just move my Naphets Alex Poli out of the sun. There we go. Everybody now is a little bit more protected. See, ja boy. Okay, I hear you. Well, I'm here. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with what we talked about. I would like to say I've got all night, but, well, all day, but I've got a bird that's waiting for me. Which, if I move the streams to 4 p.m. for this time of year because better lighting, oh, that Maxillarea is definitely looking much nicer now like this. Then I can get Ciliano out into the jungle gym and he won't be pestering me in the background. Let me know if you're comfortable, Julien's son. Okay, great stuff. And always, always, Julien, I always look forward to hearing from you. If you have time or you want to, you just want to make sure that, you know, whatever, another set of eyes on your flagellaris, then shoot me an email with some images. Besides, I haven't actually seen a clay tube being grown successfully with moss on it and everything. I haven't seen that. So no pressure, but when you have time, if you want to get some more eyes on your flagellaris, send me an email, okay? The silence is me waiting. I can't help it. Awesome. Non-blurry pictures. That would be helpful. Whatever you can make happen whenever you feel like it, whenever you have a moment, okay? No rush, but I'll be looking out. It's always nice to see your name in the inbox. So with everybody here, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to just say thank you so much once again for being here. I so appreciate it. La Donna in Texas. Hello. It's good to see you. Welcome to the patio in southern Spain. I was just about to wrap up, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Ah, I'm chuffed. You're here. Oh my goodness. That's so sweet. I hope you're having a good day. This lady is incredible. She is absolutely incredible. We have some great times chatting in another community. And it's so nice to see you. Oh, I'm touched. I'm about to get all into my feels here. She has opened my eyes to a whole new genre of content. And it's just fabulous. It's Chinese, imperial, historic episodes of drama. It's just amazing. I love it. I just love it. I finished La Donna. I finished what's that called? And the Winner is Love. I finished that last night, and I've started on The Cunning Palace. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I think I'm going to be with The Cunning Palace for a long time. It looks great. It's looking really good. So this, if you're, oh my, if you're into history and anything that is amazing, beautiful side effects, insane costumes that make Hollywood look like, I don't know, a D-list actress. If you like drama, even though you don't speak Chinese, you're going to have to read the subtitles, but it is so, so beautifully done. You've got immortals, you've got gods going on, there's wars. Fantastic. Cannot be more grateful, La Donna. I love it. Absolutely not orchid related, but oh my goodness. I cannot wait to be able to watch 1 or 2 episodes a night. ASMR, repotting sessions, would you like that? just silence and let the world do the talking? I can do that because I have so many to repot and broken pots and all that. We just do a silent stream? Julien's son. That's a novel one. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. Linda! How are you? It's so good to see you. Oh my. So, wow. I wonder if doing this at 4 p.m. would bring other people into a better time zone. Oh, it's so good to see you, Linda. Wow. Lekker falling on water. We can do that. I'll just put my microphone really close when we do that. That would be fun. I have over there, right there, that tall Cattleya there. She is in desperate need of a repot, as is my pastoral innocence over there. Desperately needs a repot. She is struggling with roots in the pot, and same concept, let's just say, as my green that we've just taken care of. We can do that silently. What fun. Let me give it a think, okay? Because being a chatterbox, I might struggle. I might feel a little bit awkward. Shh. As in, don't talk. Okay. Let me give it a think. It's a great idea. La Donna. 10 a.m. That's 7 hours. Got it. Okay, everybody. I am going to call it. I mean, how long would I last? I couldn't type. You see, because I would have wet hands. How long would I last? We can try. Okay. The sound of silence. I love that. You're making me laugh. Fran Ricks, thank you so much for your support here. And everybody, I really appreciate it. I hate saying goodbye. I hate it, but it's going to push me. If I don't stop now, I'm going to be in trouble when it comes to Mr. Beaky over there. Yay! Cartwheels around the patio. That is amazing. I'm so happy, Linda. Thank you so much. Oh, I love it when things, oh, yes. It's like, Harry met Sally, the cafe scene. Yes. This is great. Thank you, Julie's son. Thank you so much for being here. You stay nice and cozy and snug. Oh, my. Oh, Linda. When she blooms, please send me a pic. That's great. Great news. Alrighty. I'm going to call. You like my accent? Okay. Thank you very much. I got a comment on my goodness, I had a video. And normally I have to take breaks in between, but for whatever reason, that day it worked out. I worked on it for 8 hours before I hit the upload button, and that didn't include all the behind the scenes upload protocol. 8 hours flat. I only got up to refill my drink, go to the bathroom, and then continued editing on the trot. And I was so proud of that video. I was exhausted after it, insane, so focused on it. And in that comment, somebody says, I can't even watch the video. Your voice is so piercing. It's unbearable. The next day, I was hungover from the amount of focus on that video, the concentration. I was hungover from that effort. I was so hurt. I'm not a snowflake. No, I'm not. But couldn't you have found a very early video, like a long time ago? And I would have been agreeing. I felt awful. It struck me so hard. I didn't delete it. I appreciate the people that actually came into that video and that comment then and said, hey, 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 that's rude, you know? But it was reported by others, and I was so hurt. So thank you. Anyway, long story short, LaDonna, thank you very much. Thank you for saying you like that. I mean, you're telling me about my accent. I'm telling you about my piercing voice. Anyway, I know there is a difference, but that meant a lot. Thank you so, so much. Oh, yeah. I know, and I understand that, you know, these things happen and such and like. It just, did it have to be under that video of all of them? I mean, you know, yes, I spend maybe 3 hours on one and then I take a break and then I go back to it and, you know, but this one was an 8-hour marathon of editing. I was not leaving my desk, apparently, obviously, until I had met all my, you know, what I wanted to do. It had to be that video. Anyway, I'm going to love and leave you guys. Thank you again for being here. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day and weekend if I don't see you in the comments or anything on the Sunday. And well, just make sure that you please stay safe. Take care, everybody. Bye.